Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be general messages for the sign of Virgo for the month of May 2018. Hello, Virgo. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Right off the bat, just want to point your attention to the description box below. There will be a timestamp down there for you guys who prefer not to watch intros with your tarot readings. There'll be a timestamp down there. It'll take you directly to when I start the reading for Virgo. Also want to draw your attention to information in the description box below that will it will instruct you on how to go about setting up a personal reading with me. If you feel that you would be interested in something like that, I would love to work with you. And let's see, any other announcements or general things? No, Virgo, you don't have any birthdays coming up, obviously. But like I said at the top, I hope you're doing well. I hope that the spring, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, I hope that the changeover in the seasons is going well for everybody. I definitely am enjoying it. I'm definitely over winter. I'm very happy that spring has come here in the northern hemisphere. So if you're into spring like I am, yay us, right? Virgo, I've meditated with your energy off camera previous to hitting the record button, so I'm just going to get reestablished here. And if you are viewing me for the first time, you'll see that I do a 6-card spread with 1 card as the outcome and the bottom of the deck as the overall energy for the general reads. You'll also notice, if you're a first-time viewer, that there is opera music playing in the background. That music is there for me. It helps me to stay focused and clear when I'm doing these messages for the different zodiac signs. And whether or not you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming to watch this video. I am still a very new reader here on YouTube, so I appreciate you coming and watching what I do here. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like button. If it resonates with you, please leave comments and tell me how it resonates with you. If you're subscribed, that's awesome. If you're not, feel free to hit that button as well. And of course, if you choose to share the video, that would be awesome too. Only do any of those things if you feel compelled to do them. Virgo, you're in here, but it's like you're hiding or something. We'll see if that kind of, because when I was meditating, it took a while to even make that established connection with your guys' energy, and it was really strange. So maybe that has to do with what's going on with you guys right now. I'm not sure what's going on astrologically with Virgo, if there's any big impacts in your charts. So, and I'm not really an astrologer anyway, but I casually try to keep an eye on it. And I'm not sure that anything big is going on for Virgo. But where are you? My God. Sorry, I had something in my eye there for a second, but I'm trying to feel where you are. Okay, there we go. Come on. Virgo. There, thank you. It took me a minute to get to you guys. Okay, here we go. Virgo. One more, or a few more. This is very strange. This has not happened, except for in a private reading. Yes, thank you. Gosh. All right, Virgo, let's go. Can't wait to see what you were hiding there. Whoa, oh, 2. Okay. This one is kind of coming sideways. Give me a second. It flew way over there. Hold on. Okay, Virgo, you had it come this way, so it's going to go like that. But this World card came in sideways, so we need to make a decision on this guy. Sidewinder, up or down, please. Up, thank you. Alright, and that one was on the ground, face down like that. get the rest of these. That one kind of just like floated down to the table. Very gentle. Oh wow. Another one. Give me a second. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to get your final outcome card, Virgo. Oh my god, you are all over the place. 1 second. Okay, Virgo. It did fly just like that. Star card upright. Bottom of the deck is going to be the overall energy. Like maybe your card flew so far. You know, you guys are a sign of practicality. You're an earth sign, so maybe this is your way of telling me to like buy a new table, Jay. Get like a bigger table. I'll think about it. Now let's turn over the rest of your cards and we'll see what's popping for you guys, or not popping, or just happening, whatever. Wow. Okay. Got some stuff going on, don't you? Alright. This is going to be a fun video to edit. Alright, Virgo. Where's Virgo here, please? Where are you starting out in May? Alright. Strange. I believe, Virgo, you are starting off here in the bottom as the Lovers. And focus, please. There we go. Oh, why won't you focus? That works. Okay. So you're starting off May coming in as the Lovers, Virgo. And I feel like I think you're feeling, the word that came across quickly was celestial, and there is the angel that's associated with the Lover's card. So some of you are feeling kind of like outer worldly, or trying to evaluate your place in the world, evaluate yourself in terms of where you are right now in your life, what type of journey you're going to have in your life, what kind of experiences that you've had until now, and like how it shaped you. There's like this evaluation on a soul level, for lack of a better word, right now. And I know that the Lovers is typically associated with choices and a head versus a heart decision, and that might apply to some of you, but I think that there's sort of like this like you're trying to recognize the different parts of yourself, or the different sides of yourself. And you're wanting to have that evaluation occur from a higher perspective. Hence why I said like angelic, and I believe I used the word evaluation. So there's something about this getting to know yourself, or getting to understand yourself, but from a bigger perspective, from a wider perspective. Because, you know, like anyone else in the world, Virgo, you've been through troubling times, you've been through happy times, you've had things work in your favor, you've had things work against you, you've experienced pain, you've experienced love, all those kinds of things. And I think it's leaving you sort of, if you are making a decision, Virgo, you're making a decision about like, what's next? And for some of you, it might be in terms of a relationship, because the Lovers does speak to a relationship. In some cases, it also speaks to or relates to the sign of Gemini. So some of you might be dealing with a Gemini. But some of you, I think you're like evaluating what's next, as in, where are you going to plot your next course? Like, is it going to be focused on yourself, your career, your family? Is it going to be focused on adventure, world travel? I see that coming up here. Is it going to be focused on starting a business, going back to school, focusing, like I said, on love or family life? it's kind of like, instead of being at a fork in the road where it's a choice where you're choosing between two distinct things, it's sort of like you're at like a 5 point intersection, or you're at like one of those intersections that you see in like old movies or old cartoons where it's like 4 different sign points and 2 point this way, 1 points that one, another one points back the other way. And you kind of just have to, you're deciding on your next destination. And the Lovers would be significant because you're trying your best, Virgo, not to live exclusively in your head. Which is not to say, you're an earth sign, not to say that you prefer one over the other. But in my experience, Virgo tends to lean more towards things that have to deal with logic. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And this, I think, would be an attempt to kind of merge the two, what you think, what you feel is, or excuse me, what you logically understand or have reasoned to be the best choice for you. Plus, you want to merge that energy with what is the best decision in terms of what your heart desires, what your heart says you should go for, what your heart says is going to be the best choice for you. And you want to reconcile those two things. You might be wanting to reconcile a certain relationship, whether it's romantic or otherwise. So there's this idea, like I said, of like trying to evaluate yourself, evaluate where you are, evaluate where you've been, so that you can better understand or have a better idea of where you want to go. Okay? So that's where you start off at. And that's influenced by these 2 cards. And I was giving you like those examples of the sort of like the extremes, or like the binary situations. You've experienced love, you've experienced pain, stuff like that. That's what this is signaling. You've experienced heartache or loss, you've experienced tough situations, painful situations, but you've also experienced incredible joy in your life, and happiness in your life, and contentment in your life, and being inspired and feeling on top of the world, okay? So that's the Ten of Swords on the, I suppose that would be the left of the screen, and then the Sun card on the right. And the Ten of Swords is here. Some of you may have recently or sometime in your life, because I don't feel that, I'm not feeling like recent, even though I say recently, that's not for the majority of you. It's at any point. Some of you, this may have been a recent situation where you've been betrayed, you've been stabbed in the back, you've been hurt by someone close to you, or someone that was, for lack of a better word, of value to you, like someone that you cared for. Not necessarily in a love relationship. This could be friends, this could be family members, whoever. And again, it doesn't have to be recent, but this is like, you're acutely aware of this feeling. Something inside of you has reminded you of this because you're evaluating, like you're bringing this up. You're reviewing the tapes. You're going back in your memory and thinking on the details and the circumstances which brought this feeling into your life. Or you're remembering the person that brought that feeling into your life. Conversely, you're thinking of the moments where you had the sun in your life, where maybe that same person was amazing to you. You guys had an amazing connection, an amazing relationship. Or the circumstance. It doesn't even have to be a person. It could be a job. It could be when you were in school, when you went to college, and all that kind of stuff. And that dichotomy, or not even dichotomy, that juxtaposition, that ability for both things to be true at once. Again, a person can hurt you and really harm you and sort of destroy you in a way, or betray you, but they can also bring you great joy. Like that truth, that just sometimes inexplicable truth about life and how we relate to one another, or how situations and circumstances make us feel. There's something there that you're trying to dig through and kind of analyze and figure out, okay, how's that going to inform my next move? Because again, the Lovers is about a choice, right? And in this case, I believe it's not head or heart. I think it's head plus heart. Heartache plus joy. What does that mean for me in the future? It's interesting. I think some of you want to work. Some of you are evaluating your profession, how to go forward and succeed, if it involves a career change or if it involves staying in the industry that you work in currently, or the job title or type of role that you already have. You're considering that. You're considering how this job has harmed you. Some of you physically harmed you. Some of you are in jobs where, you know, it's taken a toll on your physical body, or since this is swords, it could also take a toll on your mental body, your mental health. And it's tiring you out. It's giving you a lot of joy. Maybe you've made a lot of friends on the job. You've had great experiences and memories with these people, or it's even enlightened you in some kind of way. It's brought some type of brightness into your life, but at the same time, it's also worn you down. So where do you go from here? This is what you're thinking of in the month of May. You're trying to figure out, do I continue to stay where I am, even though the work that I'm doing is breaking my back, potentially for some of you, literally giving you pain in your body. And with the sun, not particularly, this is not what the sun is known for, but since I'm talking in the realm of work, you could have experienced, while you've been working here, several, I want to say upgrades, promotions. You could have been given several job title changes, and it's just been this steady ascension in your professional life. And if you were to leave, would you be betraying yourself? Would you be giving up on your own progress? Would you be sort of setting yourself back? That's something that some of you are considering in terms of work. If this is about relationships, this person hurt you, but they brought you joy as well. I don't really see anyone else here, so I don't even think that you're evaluating like an ex or a current relationship. If you're in a current relationship, by the way, and you're happy and you're not evaluating anything, this reading is not for you. Do stop by again in June. But for those of you where you are evaluating relationships, I don't feel that you're necessarily evaluating any current partners or even any ex-partners. I think just the idea of love and relationships and commitments and partnerships is what you're evaluating. So you're running down all of the exes in your memory, like, oh, remember Sean, remember Dan, remember Patrick, remember Julia, you know, for some of us out there who, you know, play on both sides, however it falls in your life, okay? And you're just like thinking of the ways in which each person was kind to you and each time they were not so kind to you. And then I think you, Virgo, would be thinking, now how do I feel about not the person now, but the idea of a relationship? Do I even want to? Virgo is very take it or leave it when it comes to relationships. I think a lot of you are nurturing. I think a lot of you are giving partners and you do desire connections with people, but Virgo is able to find happiness and contentment in many other facets of their lives. I've yet to meet a Virgo that just gets hung up on love for too long. I've yet to meet that person. Okay? So that's what I mean. It's not an actual evaluation of a specific person or a specific relationship. It's just, do I want to pursue love again? Do I want to let love into my life again? Something to think about while you're, you know, buttering your toast and thinking about it while you're making your breakfast, you know? It's in the section or in the sector of relationships, this evaluation is very casual to me. I don't think that it's making or breaking you. I think this is more heavily focused on love, focused on your job. I'm going to say for a good portion of you, this is about job. And for others of you, this is just about passion. Because again, I just said that Virgo can be satisfied with several other sectors in their lives, not just relationships, not just being in love or anything like that, or even being in love with your job, being in love with your work. I think where you struggle, quote unquote struggle, Virgo, is being truly, deeply passionate about something. And I think that might be what you're thinking about. Am I passionate about love and relationships? No. Am I passionate about this job right now? No. Am I passionate about self-discovery? Not really. I'm just doing it because I feel there should be something more that I should be striving for. I think, if anything, that might be what you are somewhat passionate about, Virgo, is this idea of the next thing. That sounds really, like, kind of rude, I suppose, but that's kind of how this is striking me. And that kind of makes sense to me. Virgo is a mutable sign, right? Yeah, because Taurus is fixed, and then Capricorn is the initiate. What do you call that? I forget the name of it. Oh, the cardinal sign. There you go. Thank you. So, Virgo, you're the mutable of the earth signs, which means what? Why do I bring that up? Because, first of all, yes, thank you. There's a reason. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. So, recall earlier, for those of you who sat through the horrific shuffle, not horrific, but very strange shuffle that I had to do for you, Virgo. I sat here for several minutes trying to reconnect with your energy. And I told you when I was meditating, it was hard for me to even, quote unquote, find your energy, to be sort of allowed access to you. Okay? That happens with you, Virgo. When you go into these evaluation periods, you kind of block people out. You might block certain parts of your own personality out, and you go into this reflective period. And why do you do that? As a mutable sign, change is what drives you. Change is your strong suit. It's what you bring to the table. You're able to get into a situation, fix what needs fixing, and then move on to the next thing. Or put in your 2 cents, maybe hope for the best, and let whoever is going to remain behind in the situation deal with it. I brought my set of skills here. This is what I have to offer. Okay, now I need a new project. And this whole idea of newness, I don't mean to say it to make it sound like Virgo is fickle, in case anybody here is cross-watching Virgo's video. And I don't mean to say it to you, Virgo, to make it seem like you can't be committed, or you kind of have like this rolling stone mentality or behavior. It's just a part of your innate makeup, that what drives you, what really gets your juices flowing, so to speak, or oils your gears, so to speak, is the idea of seeing something that needs fixing or needs your help. Because not even to say that the situation needs a fix is what you're after. You want to be utilized. You want to be useful. And when you don't feel useful, you become despondent. You get into this evaluation of yourself, of your life, and you're like, what am I doing? What have I been doing? And you feel like you haven't done anything. Sometimes you're looking back in your life and you're like, did I even do anything? Like, have I accomplished anything? Because again, when you get into that space of you're no longer utilizing your skills, you're no longer actively working towards something, like, let's take the job, right? You get hired 10 years ago. You work the job for a year, you get your first promotion. You work the job another 2.5 years, you get another promotion. Then you've worked the last 5 years. So what's that? What did I say? 1 year plus 2.5, that's 3.5 plus 5. So then you've been sitting at one promotion for the last 2.5 years. And now you're like, what have I done here? Well, you've been promoted twice. You continually get an increase in your pay. You've been awarded several recognitions during the job. And not to say that you're ungrateful, it's just that now that you feel that you're starting to coast, that you sort of plateaued, you don't want to do that anymore. And you're like, oh my God. And you start to have this feeling of like having a void, having to evaluate, is this where I'm stopping? Is this where my game ends? And you could be like 26 and having this thought. You could be in your mid to early 20s and thinking, oh God, is this where I'm going to leave? Is this it? like, it can be kind of like a doomsday feeling sometimes with you, Virgo. So again, like I said, this is like feeling heavily about self-development and or the job, your professional prospects. I'm not really feeling this for relationships, but there is that decision for some of you between jobs and relationships. And let's talk about that for a second. And the reason I say that is because you've got this Knight of Cups in reverse here, and he's facing the world, which is then even further out across from the Ten of Swords in reverse. Or excuse me, the Ten of Swords. He's in reverse, the Knight of Cups. So this to me is also where you are, Virgo. Or if it is another person, they're there. But it's mostly you. This is mostly you. Now, if you're coming to this reading and you're concerned about love, or you're making choices regarding your love life or your romantic life, you're going to choose not to do it, basically. Because in the reverse, the Knight of Cups is like, he's on a journey, but he doesn't know where he's going. He has a love offer, but he has no place to put that cup or extend that offer. He'd also be like kind of not a narcissist per se, but kind of like false with this offer. So let's say you're dating. You're not dating for realsies. You're not out there saying yes to people who want to take you out for drinks or dinner. You're not taking them seriously. You're not making any serious effort towards love right now, Virgo. If you're in a happy relationship or you're happily dating and you want that commitment, you want to do that, this is not the reading for you. But for those who I'm speaking to, if you are indulging in meeting new people or revisiting some exes, just in case, just to cover my bases, it's not serious. You don't mean it. It's like filling your time. We can't sit in this reflective, what am I going to do next period, 24 hours a day. You got to take a break. You got to go to work. You got to, garden. You got to go shopping. And you got to go out on a couple of dates. And it's just something to sort of pass the time for you. What you truly want, Virgo, or where you're truly thinking about is, again, what's next in terms of your career? What's next in terms of your professional outlook? For some of you, that means going back to school, or getting into college if you've never been before, or getting a different certification on top of all of the degrees and certifications that you already have. And why do I say that? Because I see the World card here. Now, the World card is in between this dark reflective thing of reminding yourself of what dissatisfied you, what made you feel betrayed, what broke your back. Yeah, for some of you, what possibly literally broke your back, but what stabbed you in the back, or who stabbed you in the back. And in the middle is the World card. So that's about transitions, or that's about the closing of one chapter and opening another, the end of one cycle and the starting of another. So there's this movement here, sort of in these four cards. These two are kind of extra. We're going to talk about the page in a minute. But the world is saying, Virgo, you are on the precipice of an ending and a new beginning. And I think it's really about yourself. So again, some of you are doing this in like a self-reflective thing. Some of you are sitting back and saying, who am I? What am I? Why am I here? And you want to understand yourself in a higher, almost esoteric kind of way, or a religious or spiritual way. Not to say that these cards together equal spirituality, but there's that potential because of the World card. Some of you, this is about, like I said, I feel this is mostly career, mostly professional. You guys are like, okay, if I leave this company that has brought me a little bit of pain and some sorrow and headaches and long, hours in the office, but has also given me joy, has also, helped me build up my resume. I've met a lot of people. Some of you are thinking, do I leave this company? Because the World card, like I said, is about transitions. It's about moving from one thing to the next. One thing, hopefully, in a progression or an ascended progression. upwards, up that corporate ladder, so to speak. And for some of you, this is about world travel. This is about, if I take this job, I guess I'm moving to Morocco. You know, your job is like, we got a position. You'd be great for it, but it's in Morocco. And you're like, okay, let me think about it. If I leave, oh man, that's going to suck. I'm going to leave my friends. I'm going to leave my family. I'm not going to have the creature comforts of home. It's going to be a whole new world for me. But in that same breath, but you're like, oh, the opportunity, the chance for new adventure, the chance to see a whole different side of the world that I've never seen before, to feel happy and abundant because I'll be doing something new and exciting. So the prospect is really here in these 4 cards. And yeah, the Knight of Cups here, he's just hitting me as like this part of you that you're kind of like locking away in like a little broom closet, like, love, we'll talk about you later. Knight of Cups, go in the closet. We're not doing that. We're not doing that right now. It's kind of how I feel that the Knight of Cups is here. And, or, like I said before, if this is someone else, this is you turning them down. You're not receiving their message, their gift of love, their offer of a commitment, their offer. Some of you, like I said, if you are dating, it's just for play. And some of you aren't even dating. You're like, that's nice, Brenda. I would love to go out on a date with you, but no, I'm not going to do that. Like, some of you genuinely like Brenda. You think that she would be cool to hang out with, but you are occupied elsewhere in your life, and you know it wouldn't be fair to lead Brenda on. So you're like, thanks, but no thanks, Brenda. You know? Now, Page of Swords. Why are you here? What are you talking about? Some of you are a little afraid, a little skeptical, a little defensive about these changes that you see coming down the pipe. I'm feeling it's more of like a anxious, afraid, unsure energy, the Page of Swords, when it comes to this decision that you're making or this evaluation that you're putting yourself through. And, you know, all this evaluation involves change, right? Choice here, possible changes here. The 10 is the culmination of the minor arcana in the sword suit, right? So that's the whole, you're about to let go of this 10 of Swords energy. So there's that newness behind that energy. And the Sun is definitely about expansion. So some of you are tentative about this. You're like, oh, I don't know, you know. And that happens. Even though you're a mutable sign and like change again is the name of the game for you, you still are human. You still will suffer some type of anxiety or fear or anxiousness when it comes to starting a new thing, a new project, or into, like I said, a new endeavor, going to a new country, starting a new job, leaving one company that you've been with for 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, and moving into a new one. So this change for some of you gives you pause, makes you go, okay, wait, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this? And the Page of Swords is also known as a spy energy. I consider the Page of Swords to be an observant energy. So some of you are doing your homework. You're analyzing every nook and cranny of the situation that you're involved in. You want to know everything you need to know about that new company that you're going to work for. You're looking up what is a typical breakfast in Morocco. I really like Fruity Pebbles. Do they sell Fruity Pebbles in Morocco? Like, you want to know as much as you need to know, or as much as you can know, before you start this change. And it's looking right at the Sun card, the Page of Swords. He's looking right at the Sun card, and then on the far left-hand side, looking at the Lovers. So the Page card, the Page of Swords is definitely in line with this joy that comes below the World, which is significant also. I didn't really touch on that, but the new beginning rests on top of the joy, the immense happiness that is associated with the Sun card. you know? So the Page of Swords has the sun in his line of sight. He wants it. You want it. But you're not just going to rush into it. You're not a fool. You're not... This card can also speak to immaturity, but I'm not getting that right now. You're not being immature about it. I mean, you might be, like, if other people, since the Knight of Cups is right above the page, if other people are like, hey, do you want to go on a date? You're like, no, Brenda, I can't. Like, you might be a little short with people who are vying for your attention, vying for your time, trying to spend time with you, trying to make connections with you. You might be swiftly cutting those people off, like, oh, no, I'm going to be busy for the next 3 weeks. Goodbye. And Brenda's like, what? 3 weeks? Like, the majority of May, you're not available? You're like, yep, I got plans. And to you, they're plans. You're researching, you're trying to plot your trajectory, you're trying to figure out where you're going next, even though you're sitting on your couch on your MacBook, you know, switching between Facebook and Wikipedia and all that kind of stuff and ordering and takeout, you know. To you, that's busy. You're doing the research. Leave me alone, Brenda. Okay? Now, for your outcome for the month of May, Virgo, you have the Star card. So this whole thing, this whole evaluation period that you're going through, it's looking like it's going to be blessed or blessed, however you'd like to say that word, blessed or blessed. But it looks like it's going to succeed. It looks like what you're planning to do, what you're thinking about doing, or what you eventually decide to do is going to be for your highest good. It's going to be in line with what you really want deep down inside. And I would imagine, I think that's in line because, again, the Lovers is this evaluation point for you. It's like a deep dive into what does Virgo really want going forward. And wherever direction you choose to go out of that 5-point intersection, whichever road you choose to walk down, is hopefully, for a good amount of you, going to give you this. Wishes come true, desires come true. There's a healing aspect of it. So for some of you where the job has been breaking your back, has been hurting you physically, hurting you mentally, or not even hurting, but just like draining on your physical health, draining on your mental health, draining on your energy. If you leave that job or transition to a new job within the same company, whatever it is, there will be some healing going on. You'll get to, you'll be able to like breathe that sigh of relief. Okay? If you choose to go back to school, maybe you've been worried. I don't really, you have no pentacles here. Nothing about pentacles. There's a lot of mental energy with the 3 swords cards here. And the Lovers which is again associated with Gemini. So there's a lot of thought here. So when you get to the Star card, your mind will be at ease. Whatever you were worried about in terms of going back to school, getting recommendations, getting tests done, having enough resources in terms of filing for the FAFSA or FAFSA, getting loans, getting scholarships, whatever. It should all come together, or at least you'll get some reprieve from it, even if it doesn't get solved. You'll at least feel a little bit more relaxed by the end part of May. And again, time in tarot is not finite. It's very fluid. This may or may not see the Star result within May. It could go to June. It could even go later. So don't hold it till the last day of May. Be like, oh no, I still feel stressed. Okay. So your overall energy, though, is this 5 of Swords. Now, this is interesting. Because this is where we get into the card that might talk about other people. I mean, there's 3 people on the card, right? The guy in the foreground, the 2 in the background, and they both look salty, right? So some of you, maybe you're having contentious discussions with people who are close to you, family members who are like, I don't want you to move to Morocco. I want you to stay here with me and the kids. And you're like, but babe, Morocco. I mean, that could literally be just, the situation for some of you out there. You have a partner, you have a family, and this job posting, which may or may not be permanent. I'm not really seeing much. What I'm seeing is the opportunity. What I'm seeing is your evaluation of how valuable the opportunity is. Time-wise, can't tell you. So for some of you, that whole position abroad might be 6 months, might be a year, might be 2 years, whatever it is, and it calls you away from the people that love and care about you. Now you're feeling like, yeah, if I take it, that's great. It's more money. It's going to be a great experience. I'm going to be able to note that on my resume. I'm going to be able to come back and then apply for the VP position, whatever it is. But you feel victorious, but the other people around you feel like, no, we're losing our mommy for a year. We're losing daddy for a year. I need you here to help me with the kids. I need you here to help me with the bills. And you're like, but I'm going to make money and send it to you. Like, it's going to be deposited in the joint bank account. Whether I'm here or not doesn't make a difference. Like, you're logically thinking of it that way with all these swords here. That's how you're logically thinking. This family machine will run fine whether I'm here or not. And you're not so ignorant or so dismissive, Virgo, to not understand that, yes, of course, you going away would make your family miss you. There would be a great void. You realize that, but you've like I said, you've turned that part of yourself off right now in terms of love and relationships and those effusive connections that we have in life, hence that Knight of Cups in reverse. You're not offering to give your partner solace if you're having these discussions, you're being very by the book about it. You're being very logical, like, no, babe, if I do this, it will lead to this, it will lead to this, it will lead to this. All we have to do is wait, all we have to do is suffer for a year. I'm asking you to do this for me for a year so that we, on the back end of this decision, will reap a lot of benefits. And your partner's just feeling like, okay, I guess so. And you're like, stop crying. Why are you walking away sobbing like that? I thought we just agreed this is for the betterment of everybody. Okay? In other ways, and there's just this feeling of the overall energy is, Virgo, this is something you're deciding on your own for the most part. And Virgo, you're not afraid to do that. Whether you're involved, married, living with your parents, living with roommates, you don't care. And not to say that you don't care. I shouldn't say it so flippantly. It's more of you're in the mood to do what best serves you right now. If other people benefit, that's great. But the core issue here is what's going to serve Virgo the best. That's your focus. And again, that's why this guy, this is called like a hollow victory. Like, he's got all the swords, technically. He's holding 3 of them and 2 are on the ground, but he has all of the swords, and the 2 people walking away, they don't have any. So in his mind, he's got it made. And it's called a hollow victory, but in this case, I don't think it's necessarily that. I mean, you might be hurting your relationships if you aren't a little bit more compassionate towards those who are like, I don't like this decision that you're making, or this is going to impact me too. Did you think about how I would feel in the situation? If you're not being compassionate towards them, that might be why this is here. So I would caution you to try your best and hear other people's grievances out. But at the same time, I don't have to tell you this because I don't see it here. It's not going to affect your decision in the long run. I'm just saying, even if you still go to Morocco, despite what your spouse says, despite your kids crying every night up until you leave, if you're nice about it, that might be, it might be something you should consider. Because to you, it's just all facts and figures, right? It's the logical decision. It's what's going to serve the family the best. You're going to have a great experience under your belt. And you're going to be able to utilize your skills like you've been wanting to do, but have been sort of blocked from doing recently. You haven't been able to shine recently, Virgo, and you want to shine. And there's nothing wrong with that because you have the potential to have that happen with your outcome being the star. But don't cut other people down or don't isolate them completely if you can avoid it. That would be my advice. If you use the right words, indulge your partner and let them cry on your shoulder, I think things will be okay. All right? All right, Virgo, so that's going to be your reading for May 2018. I hope this message resonated with someone out there. If it did, please leave a comment below. I'd love to read about it. I would love to know how this is working out for you in your life. And if you did like what you saw, hit that like button. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And again, look in the About section or the description box below for information on how to set up personal readings with me. And I will see you guys again in 4 weeks when I come back and do your June general readings. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Bye.